what might your first words have been? You might have had the need to work out a few issues with these guys, right? I can imagine them fearing Jesus is going to show up and say, "Hello, boys. We got to talk. Because you really let me down, and it's time for me to rake you over the coals for the way you really messed up." But I believe Jesus had his entrance planned long in advance. He knows exactly the kind of first impression he wants to make on this crowd. And he knows that the moment will not only set the tone for the rest of the lives of these disciples, but I think Jesus is hoping that it will also set the tone for how those who follow the disciples and follow them down to us will also see ways that we can bring an Easter gift to those in our own lives. So Jesus, the ghost, opens up with the really astounding line, "Peace be with you." And if you know anything about Middle Eastern greetings of peace, he didn't just stand there and go, "Peace, y'all." He grabbed each one of them, and I'm sure there was a kiss on each cheek and an embrace, so that it was a very intimate, restoring moment for all of them. Clara Barton, who was the founder of the Red Cross, was talking with a friend of hers, and this friend was aware of a dispute that had arisen between Clara and yet another woman. And this person reminded Clara about this and said, "Are you still mad at her?" And she said, Clara Barton said, "Why should I be?" And she went on and rehashed all the details of the original offense. And Clara Barton replied, "I distinctly remember forgetting about that. I distinctly remember forgetting about that." And that is the news that Jesus brings to us. He's distinctly decided to remember to forget all of that stuff about us. Because this news about Easter doesn't change from century to century. It's the same news for us that it was for those disciples that first night. Each time we gather, Jesus finds us just like he did those disciples. Christ finds all of us, people who have ghosts that haunt us and skeletons in our closets. It's a funny thing about skeletons in the closet. When we use that expression, it gives the impression that whatever that skeleton is locked in the closet at home, and you can go about your daily life and not be bothered by it. Really? That works for you? No, I have in my head a picture more like of some of the baggage we all carry. Think of a suitcase with a skeletal hand kind of hanging out the back. Those skeletons, we carry them with us everywhere we go. They haunt us, and they remind us that we have failed to live as the children of God we have been called by God. They remind us of the ways that our lives have fallen short in so many ways. But the risen Christ continues to find people like us, people who have screwed up and forgotten about who we really are. And when he finds us today again in the Word and in bread and wine, he says, "Peace be with you." Or in other words, you know all that stuff you're afraid I'm going to dredge up, all those failings of yours? I distinctly remember forgetting about that. That is an Easter gift for you. It also happens to be a gift that you can give away without diminishing how much of that gift it remains yours. So I invite you to consider somebody in your life who maybe is the cause of one of your skeletons or ghosts, someone who has a ghost haunting them, and maybe it's because of something that has to do with you. If you can, consider giving them an amazing Easter gift, the gift of surprise peace that Jesus shared with you and continues to share with you. Look for an opening in that relationship, and when it comes, be ready to give the gift of new life and resurrection. Wouldn't it be great fun to start that relationship all over again by saying, you know all that stuff, I distinctly remember forgetting about that. Amen.